Oh, yeah, this is going on. Huh? Where are we? Ah, come on, that's old news. Grow up, he says. Grow up! What are you making your guests wait again? You're eating oatmeal again? Come on! Come on! So MetaMask wants to track you, huh? What is up, Chuck? So yeah, use a VPN. Should really always have my VPN on. That would be smart, but it does slow things down a little bit. I do have Brave Wallet built right in. Ha ha! No, I didn't. Let's do it while I'm eating. Okay. Let's take a look here. Okay. Yeah, that's where I saw it, so. Right here. Alright, alright. And if you scroll, haha. I don't remember where it was. What does it even say? Like, who honestly writes like this? Like, how self-absorbed do you have to be to write like this? Unless you're A, trying to make it hard to read on purpose so that nobody else can read it later. Or you're just like actually an idiot. And you think like this is the best writing you could produce. I know, and frankly, like that's the joke, right? But I'm sure there are doctors who actually practice writing properly. It doesn't take that much time out of your self-absorbed day to write something that's fucking legible, right? Like, hello, other human beings need to read this. Are you thinking about anyone except yourself? Or are you just going, here? So, oh, well, figure it out. Like, what kind of self-absorbed idiot would you have to be? What does it even say? To act on those indivs. We need to move faster. We need right, and that's probably part of it. It's like the abuser and the abused. Like, well, we've just got used to reading shitty writing. Oh, yeah, because what else are you gonna do? Send it back? Fucking send it right back. We need something playbook. Need to designate that group as terrorist group. Seize the assets. Okay. Look at how fucked she looks here. Oh, you can't see. Hold on. Alright, now I'm out of the way. Yeah, like, you can see how fucked she looks right here, too. When he brings this up.
So if you can scroll down to page, I believe it's a note with Dave.
Alright, hold on.
What page? 12? Page 12, please. And this is a note.
Yeah, right there.
that
She's
I
like,
understand you wrote
I'm
with
fucked.
Dave from CSIS. That's 11. And this is a meeting with Dave from CSIS. And if you scroll down.
Oh, right there, that I'm fucked smile.
Keep going.
I'm trying to keep my composure.
Okay.
Deep breath.
And there you say that you need to designate the group as terrorists. So, but it's not your job, but you wanted to designate them as terrorists, right?
So that handwritten note in my notebook, I can assure you that was not a meeting with the director of CSIS, with
That's,
whom I didn't have a meeting.
it says it's Okay, it's with David Vignon from CSIS.
It doesn't say that. It says it's with a gentleman called Dave.
Which Dave?
That
You think so?
meeting, that is not an account of
Which
a
Dave?
meeting with Dave Vigneault because I didn't
which
have
Dave
a
which
meeting
Dave is in
with
those
the
notes?
CSIS
ma'am?
director.
Which Dave is in those notes? What's Dave's last name?
I need to see my whole notebook that you're referring to, but I can tell you
It
for
only says
certain.
Dave.
I can tell you for certain that I did not have a meeting during this time with the CSIS director.
Okay, so
I can exclude that 100%.
I'm just gonna, this isn't a document, I don't need to bring it up, but you stayed in the House, Mr. Speaker. The members opposite has just used the bad apple excuse. She has excused the desecration of the national. Yes?
Thing that the Deputy Prime Minister said in the House.
Yeah.
There's an objection there for parliamentary privilege.
This is a parliamentary commission. There is no parliamentary privilege.
It does exist. Parliamentary privilege does
absolutely, but
exist.
It does exist, but because this is a report to Parliament pursuant to the case I gave you earlier, McIver, it doesn't apply. You can actually ask all of it because we're carrying out a parliamentary function and there's no liability here. It's just a report to Parliament, and the Federal Court of Appeal has agreed.
I'm not aware of that.
I gave you the McIver case quite a while ago when we talked about the objections, and I think, yeah, it's there.
Well, that's that he's referring to so that we know what he's talking about, so we can understand the parliamentary
This is
privilege
just,
issue here.
this is just a statement from the Deputy Prime Minister in the House, and Mr. Speaker, the members opposite.
Her shot glass?
have
Was
just
there?
no excuse,
I need,
because this is,
Find that. So I'd like you to hold that
okay, and I'll come back to
question.
it.
Oh no, I didn't see.
But you do recall, ma'am, that you had expressed concerns publicly with respect to desecration to national monuments. Is that fair?
I'm going to
Ottawa?
need advice from my counsel on whether things I said in Parliament I should be speaking about.
Okay,
I'm
so
not
here, I'll
an
just, I'll
expert
move
in
on.
this.
It's okay.
She said
So
it in Parliament. It's on the
one of
public
things that
record.
happened during the protest in Ottawa dealt with the national monument, the Terry Fox statue. Do you remember reading about that?
I do, yes, I do remember the Terry Fox statue. I remember discussing it with my children.
Yeah,
Who were
and-
very upset.
Yeah, and there was, and that Terry Fox statue, they put a hat on Terry Fox's head and then put a flag in his arm. And then there was a mandate freedom sign on it.
I don't remember specifically how the Terry Fox statue was
Yeah.
implicated in this, but I do remember
Okay.
reading about it, and I remember it specifically because my children were aware of it and
Okay.
were upset
Right, and so I and wanted
with us.
over the copy and want to do,
Parent, to be very them have to
is a form of civil
harm
action was
very contrary.
She must have thought
Okay,
like she
gold block.
she
and all those
She
things
pulled
that
a
people saw in
sexism.
Ottawa. You heard him say
she
that?
pulled a real sexism here when the
Oh,
girl
really?
comes up
Try to be precise.
because she just like
Yeah,
totally tries to softball the girl and waste a bunch of her time just because she's a girl, and she's like, no, like shut up. We'll save the pleasantries for later.
yes. And that's when you started looking at the Bank Act and the PCLMFTA as potential
banana weight, the
olive
Wait.
to establish this to move on to my next.
Sarnia,
Oh man.
Niagara, and Surrey. So from my perspective, what was happening was,
The form of that.
and I agree with that,
Adjourn for
Thoughts?
and I agree with that, and I agree.
Yeah, I don't know if she
Sorry,
has a
since it's obvious, I'll
earpiece.
say it, and I won't gild the lily.
Thank you. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Commissioner Rula.
Okay, we have 5 minutes left. I don't know if the
Maybe on the other
Canadian
ear, but
Constitution Foundation wants to
Doesn't really
start,
look like
or-
it. You think she'd? Yeah, but like from what evidence?
Lunch, but I'm in your hands.
Oh, okay, there, yeah.
it's, I don't know. I think we'll adjourn for lunch.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And we'll come back then at 2 o'clock.
The commission is in recess until 2 o'clock. La commission est levée jusqu'à 14 heures.
Fintrack and I believe 2 of your staffers.
And
Actions against the same supply chain challenges.
That's pretty crazy. Like
These
how
incentives,
she's just sitting here being roasted for like 3 hours.
aleatory.
This message.
One of this is
Oh man, I'd have to like go through it
more
in the exact same way, and oh man, I'm like, well, wait a second, what am I trying to do here? I need to like cook food and fucking, yeah, I know, but it's like, you know, people are people, right? Like we make mistakes, so that's why I'm always like, hey, like, you know, that's why we have science and reason in the first place, is because nobody knows, right? Like we're all a bunch of fucking buffoons. So yeah, but when I saw her do that or whatever, then I was like, okay, I could take it on pretty good evidence now that she likely has an earpiece. But yeah, I don't just take people's word as gospel evidence of something happening, right? Like that's just, I don't care if they're my best friend or brother. It's like, you know, friggin', maybe you saw wrong. I don't know. We all see wrong at some point, so yeah. I don't know if you're like, well, the evidence is that I seen it. It's like, okay, well, can you show me? Like, I want to see it too, right? Always looking for the evidence. What is the evidence? There's no way that you can really be certain. You can be like 99.9% certain of something, but yeah, she's like, I think, you know, also just the fact that she's like, she got totally wrecked when he pulled up those notes. So that's why I'm like, huh, what could we do? She could be like, she could like show up. We could also use this. I mean, we could just do this. Like, freebie her face on the vacuum. And then her face there, and then like her nose there or something. I don't know. I mean, yeah. Like put her face on the vacuum, and then after she shows up. After 20 seconds of that, she shows up and right? She got absolutely wrecked. What a legend. It's Miller time. Get ready to spread 'em. Some good games. LFG. Oh, buddy. Yeah, since he loves to just dress up as everybody, right? Is that actually gonna happen tomorrow? That's gonna be huge, man. Oh, gym was great. Oops. Don't open DMs when live, right? So I think if we maybe don't have to go through everything, but I think going through kind of exactly how I did as soon as Miller gets up. Oh man, Stonks killed me last night, so I was up till fucking 5 in the morning. I did take a rest while it was like compiling and shit for 20 minutes or something, but and I did nap last night, so like I wasn't super tired, but man, I'm definitely not doing that tonight. I'm getting a good rest. I hit the gym pretty good today too, which I didn't do yesterday. I took a nap instead. It's probably the right thing to do, but also was not the right. Oh, here we go again. Here we go again with the yawning. Was not the right thing to do to play video games yesterday. Wagging my finger at me on the screen over there. Like, hey, Mike, hey, come on. Don't you be gaming when you're trying to release a video the next day. It was fun, but was it worth it? Well, yeah, it was worth it. It was a fun time. Boys aren't gaming tonight, so I was like, eh, we'll get it while the getting's good. Okay, so I heard he pulled out because he has COVID, but I don't know, nothing confirmed either way. Right? Like, okay, where did you hear that? Let's make a new folder called meme videos. And then we'll go ahead and make a folder called Freebase. Let's see what we can do. Freebase. I don't know if I want to find. I'm kind of curious what freebasing is. Ron Clark live stream. Okay, so some random person in a random, well, not a random live stream, but like probably what I'm guessing is a somewhat informed live stream. I don't know who Ron Clark is, but so we'll see. What's cocaine even made of? When you take the cocaine and mix it with ammonia or baking soda, cook it in a spoon and it hardens into what they call crack. Oh, okay, so it's basically like making crack. That's how I know it. It's like, I don't know, you do some shit with a spoon and you fucking... Don't do this, kids. Never smoke crack. Don't even do cocaine, really. I mean, I'm telling you what to do when it comes to cocaine, but like, probably be better off, It's like, wait, kids aren't watching this. Nobody's watching this, except me and you, Chuck. Just purify coke. Yeah, okay. So I mean, this still makes this doesn't really make sense in the sense that like this wouldn't be pure cocaine. This wouldn't be freebase, but people will get the point. Freebase freezing. Yeah, I mean, dang, bro. Like getting into any kind of drugs is. I mean, there's the basics, right? Like tobacco, alcohol, cannabis. Those things you're gonna be fine with. I mean, alcohol is the most dangerous out of those. Although cigarettes are very dangerous too, in the sense that they're very addictive, but they don't have like they could give you. Yeah. Anyways, nicotine is not bad though, on its own. Like, if you can get pure nicotine or gum or vaping even, but nicotine gum is like not. But I find nicotine gross. Like it just something about it makes me feel disgusting.
Many Canadians, it was a perfect.
From March 20 through.
Call on the convoy organizers for.
Miller time.
Go ahead, please.
Miller time. Here we go.
Yeah, if you grow your own tobacco.
Share this, you guys. Get it out
But
there.
even
Get
then,
it
it's like
out
you're
there.
smoking it. Like
I'm not sure how long he has. I'm hoping for at least 15.
Hello, my name's Brendan Miller, and I'm counsel to Freedom Corp, which is the representative of the protesters that were in your city.
okay, we're gonna have to. Let's go to Whitebat. Let's go to the synthwave. Let's turn it down.
Ottawa in January and February 2022. So, ma'am, I understand the mandate regarding truckers that led to the protest. It came into effect on January 15th, 2022. Is that correct?
I don't recall the exact date, but I'm prepared to believe you are citing
Thank
it correctly.
And during the pandemic, from March 20 through January 15th, 2022, there was no such regulation, right?
Again, I'm don't recall the exact dates myself, but I do know we didn't have the mandate and then it came into
Right.
force.
Just
Yeah,
so
she's
folks at home
looking over
understand,
at her
a regulation is a different type of law.
handler.
It's passed by the executive branch alone, not by all of Parliament, right? Like the Emergencies Act.
There is absolutely a distinction between things a government can do by regulation and things it can
Right.
only do by legislation.
And so, would you agree with me that, given that during the throes of the pandemic, from March 2020 through to January 15th, 2022, and we had no regulation, you didn't need one?
No, I actually,
Wait, what does he say there?
Ottawa in January and February 2022. So, ma'am, I understand the mandate regarding truckers that led to the protest. It came into effect on January 15th, 2022. Is that correct?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't recall the exact date, but I'm prepared to believe you are citing
Thank
it correctly.
And during the pandemic, from March 20 through January 15th, 2022, there was no such regulation, right?
Again,
There was no trucker
I'm-
mandate until
don't
January
recall
2022.
the exact dates myself, but I do know we didn't have the mandate and then it came into
Right.
force.
And just so the folks at home understand, a regulation is a different type of law. It's passed by the executive branch alone, not by all of Parliament, right? Like the Emergencies Act.
There is absolutely a distinction between things a government can do by regulation and things it can
Right.
only do by legislation.
And so, would you agree with me that, given that during the throes of the pandemic, from March 2020 through to January 15th, 2022, and we had no regulation, you didn't need one?
No, I actually, I believe that taken as a whole, the public health measures that Canada put in place were very, very important in
Oh, I understand
protecting the
that,
health
but
and
I'm just
safety of
gonna, I only have
Canadians.
so much time, so I'm gonna cut you off there. And you'd agree with me that given that there was no regulation in place from March 2020 through January 15th, 2022, during the throes of the pandemic, there was no reason to pass one on January 15th, 2022, was there? There was no health risk.
No, I'm afraid I don't agree. In January, we had an Omicron wave. We were still fighting COVID, and there was a real value in encouraging as many Canadians as
Okay,
possible to get
But,
vaccinated.
but so the purpose was to encourage Canadians to get vaccinated, to compel them to get vaccinated. Is that fair?
That's right.
All right, so that was the purpose of the regulation. That was the true purpose. It wasn't to keep people safe, it was to get them vaccinated.
I believed then, and I believe now, that creating strong incentives for Canadians to be vaccinated protected the health of
Okay.
vaccinated
It's gonna be hard with
Canadians and
his voice
protected the
coming
health
over
of
it,
our
but
country overall.
Okay.
But
so
that could be a
January
line.
15th, 20
That taken as a whole, the public health measures that Canada put in place were very, very important in
Oh, I
protecting
understand
the
that,
health
but
and
I'm just
safety of
gonna, I only
Canadians.
have so much time, so I'm gonna cut you off there. And you'd agree with me that given, from, would you agree?
That taken as a whole, the public health measures that Canada put in place were very, very important.
maybe
I understand
okay.
that,
Health
but
and
Maybe
the MPJ.
Hold on.
This is
the,
only-
envoy.
From March 20 through,
I'm just gonna right, like what an insane. I'm just going to record. I wonder if I can just Facebook download it. No. Maybe, well, that's 3 hours though. That's why I'm like, okay. Browser tab, tab audio. Let's just record the whole thing.
January 15th, 2022, there was no such regulation, right?
Let's just chill.
Again, I'm don't recall the exact dates myself, but I do know we didn't have the mandate and then it came into
Right.
force.
And just so the folks at home understand, a regulation is a different type of law. It's passed by the executive branch alone, not by all of Parliament, right? Like the Emergencies Act.
There is absolutely a distinction between things a government can do by regulation and things it can
Right.
only do by
Right.
legislation.
And so, would you agree with me that given that during the throes of the pandemic, from March 2020 through to January 15th, 2022, and we had no regulation, you didn't need one?
No, I actually, I believe that taken as a whole, the public health measures that Canada put in place were very, very important in
Oh, I
protecting
understand
the
that,
health
but
and
I'm just
safety of
gonna, I only
Canadians.
have so much time, so I'm gonna cut you off there. And you'd agree with me that given that there was no regulation in place from March 2020 through January 15th, 2022, during the throes of the pandemic, there was no reason to pass one on January 15th, 2022, was there? There was no health risk.
No, I'm afraid I don't agree. In January, we had an Omicron wave. We were still fighting COVID, and there was a real value in encouraging as many Canadians as
Okay,
possible to get
but-
vaccinated.
But so the purpose was to encourage Canadians to get vaccinated, to compel them to get
What's up,
vaccinated.
D-Lo?
Is that fair?
That's
How
right.
you doing?
All right. So that was the purpose of the regulation. That was the true purpose.
Who's D-Lo?
It wasn't to keep people
Ah.
safe. It was to get them.
Was that
vaccinated.
whiskey?
I believed then, and I believe now, that creating
We are gonna
strong
make a mockery
incentives
of
for
Freebase
Canadians to be
Freeland here.
vaccinated protected the health of
Okay.
vaccinated
So we're
Canadians
doing the
and protected the
nitty
health of
gritty.
our country overall.
Okay. So from March 2020 to January 15th, 2022, did you fail to protect Canadians by not having that regulation?
Let me start with one aspect of that timeline, which is obviously when COVID first hit us, vaccines didn't exist. And then even when vaccines arrived, it took time for them to be distributed. So of course, vaccine mandates couldn't be put in place before vaccines existed or were made available.
So, and of course, the government, you ended up creating a vaccine compensation fund in December of 2020. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
Right. And you're aware that Quebec had a vaccine compensation fund and it was the only province that actually had one prior to that?
I am prepared to accept that that's the case. I can't recall specifically.
And can you agree with me that the United States has a federal vaccine compensation fund?
Again,
has
I'm
for a long time.
prepared to accept that
Okay.
that's the case.
So from 1867, when Canada was founded, up until December of 2020, Canada had no federal vaccine compensation fund. Can you agree with that?
Again, I'm not an expert in the history of.
I'm not
vaccine
an expert in the
compensation funds.
history of
But
maple
first
syrup
comp- we can
funds.
agree the first compensation fund in Canada for vaccines came about only because of the COVID vaccines, correct?
Again, I'm really not an expert in vaccine compensation funds. If the direction of the question is to suggest that the COVID vaccines are more dangerous in some way than previous vaccines we've used in Canada, I'll say one, I'm not a health expert,
I understand.
but I believe very much in really the advice, the effectiveness, the thoroughness of Health Canada.
Okay.
They're very good at
I
judging the
agree.
safety of vaccines.
Just
And
a
I will
second.
say, I
agree.
have been vaccinated 4 times. My children have
I
been
understand,
vaccinated.
ma'am. I don't need to know that, but
But it
I
does
don't-
speak, it does speak to
To
my confidence in the vaccines.
I
If I've
understand.
had
I
my
don't-
children vaccinated, it speaks to my
Ma'am,
belief that they're
please
safe.
stop talking out the clock and let me ask my questions, okay? So,
Well, it's a bit of a trade-off. You make a statement and you say, do you agree? And she qualifies the answer. That's appropriate.
okay.
But not
So,
for her to ramble
ma'am,
on.
If that's the case, then did Health Canada advise you to enact this regulation?
The mandate,
Yeah.
again, I'm not the health minister, and I'm not going to speak to specific moments that we had advice.
Okay.
What I will say is we were very careful and thoughtful throughout COVID.
Oh, I don't know if
in
this
the
is going to
public
allow
health
me to
measures that we
record
put in place
the
and acted
full.
based on advice of PHAC.
Right. And so that mandate was only in place until June of 2022, right?
Again, I can't recall the specific dates,
Okay.
but I'm prepared to accept
So
what you're saying.
we're going to move on and to just another area. I take it you know who Tamara Leach is, right?
I don't know her personally, but I have read about her.
Yeah. And you know who Chris Barber is?
Again, I don't know him personally, but I've read about him.
Yeah. And you know who Tom Marazzo is, right?
Can you say the third name?
Tom Marazzo, the gentleman over there?
I can't say that I know as much about him or I've heard as much about him.
And what about Danny Bulford? You know who he is, correct?
What was that final last name?
Danny Bulford, he used to be with the security team for the RCMP with the Prime Minister.
I'm afraid I'm not
Okay.
so familiar with that final name.
So,
Tamara Leach and Chris Barber I've heard of, yes.
and when you were making your decision with respect to invoking the Emergencies Act, you'd already heard about Tamara Leach and Chris Barber.
I had heard of their names, yes.
Yeah, and there's some discussions about them in some of the records. There was issues. You knew who they were.
I had read their names in the media.
Yeah, and you knew about that before you invoked the Emergencies Act.
Again, I can't say
Again.
100% not having reviewed
Yeah,
what I read,
she looks.
but my
Especially when the
recollection
notes
is
come out.
they
Oh,
were
man.
reasonably prominent, and so I think it's reasonable to think that I would have read their names.
And of course, you know Tamara Leach, she's a Canadian.
Again, I haven't familiarized myself with her
Okay,
biography
and
before
she's-
coming here.
She's from Alberta. Do you know that? Where you're from?
When we hang it out. Well, I don't even know who you are, bro.
Studied about her before coming here. I want to be careful that I say things I know for sure are true. I am certainly Canadian, and I'm born in Peace River, Alberta.
Okay. Is Tamara Leach a terrorist?
It, in terms of designating who is a terrorist and who isn't, that is not my job as Minister of Finance or Deputy Prime Minister.
Okay.
We have authorities whose job is to do that.
Right.
258.
So it's not your authority
05.
to designate Tamara Leach, Chris Barber, Tom Marazzo, or Danny Boldford terrorists. That's somebody else has to do that.
Yes, we have intelligence services, we have enforcement agencies whose job is to determine who is a terrorist, and
Okay,
that's
so-
entirely appropriate. It's,
258.
can I say one thing about
Yeah,
that?
just a second. If I can bring up document ssm.cam.000087640.
He's got something.
Ooh, he's got some juice.
001, please. And you can, while he's pulling that up, if you want to add to your answer. Okay, if we can scroll down to page, I believe this is a note with Dave. What page? 12, page 12, please. And this is a note that I understand you wrote with Dave from CSIS. That's 11. And this is a meeting with Dave from CSIS. And if you scroll down, keep going. Okay. And there you say that you need to designate the group as terrorist. So,
Sketchy. Freebase.
but it's not your job, but you wanted to designate them as terrorists, right?
So that handwritten note in my notebook, I can assure you that was not.
Yeah,
a
I don't
meeting
even
with
know.
the director
I
of
don't even
CSIS.
know who you
That
are,
time I didn't
Dilo.
have a meeting.
I
It
think
says-
you skipped a step, bro.
It's with David Vignon from CSIS.
It doesn't say that. It says it's with a gentleman called Dave.
Which Dave?
That meeting, that is not an account.
Oh, yo, bro.
of
Yeah,
a
no,
meeting
definitely
with
not
Dave
going to
Vigneault
Saskatoon
because I didn't
anytime.
have a
Which
meeting
Dave is in those
with the
notes?
CSIS
ma'am?
director.
Which Dave is in those notes? What's Dave's last name?
I need to see my whole notebook that you're
You going on
referring
a
to,
trip?
but I can tell you
It
for
only says
certain.
Dave.
Going on a work
I
trip?
can tell you for certain that I did not have a meeting during this time with the CSIS director.
Okay, so
I can exclude that 100%.
I'm just gonna, this isn't a document, I don't need to bring it up, but you stayed in the House, Mr. Speaker. The members opposite has just used the bad apple excuse. She has excused the desecration of the national. Yes?
Something that the Deputy Prime Minister said in the House.
Yep.
There's an objection there for parliamentary privilege.
This is a parliamentary commission. There is no parliamentary privilege.
It does exist. Parliamentary privilege does
absolutely, but
exist.
It does exist, but because this is a report to Parliament pursuant to the case I gave you earlier, McIver, it doesn't.
Oh,
apply.
there's her
You can
energy
ask,
shot.
all of it because we're carrying out a
Or
parliamentary function,
immune
and there's
shot
no
thing or
liability
whatever.
here. It's just a report to Parliament, and Federal Court of Appeal has agreed.
I'm not aware of that.
I gave you the McIver case quite a while ago when we talked about the objections, and I think, yeah, it's there.
Well, it has that he's referring to so that we know what he's talking about, so we can understand the
So
parliamentary.
just before-
This is just a statement from the Deputy Prime Minister in the House, and
Third-
Mr. Speaker, the members opposite this is what it says.
Yeah, it's
use
one of
just
those,
the bad
like,
apples
ginger
excuse. She
shots
has
or whatever.
excused the declaration.
I
Those
think
are
we're
good,
gonna have
actually.
to sort this out because I don't think at this stage, and I apologize, I'm not as familiar with you as you are about that case, and clearly the Crown is not either. The Crown, so I think we're going to
Bunch
have
of
to
socks.
find that. So I'd like you to
Fucking wet
hold that.
socks.
Okay,
Well,
okay,
we're
so-
not sure. He's like,
And
well, he's
if
the
you
only
do
one
recall, ma'am,
who's
that
actually sure of
You
what's
had
going on.
expressed concerns publicly with respect to desecration to national monuments. Is that fair?
I'm going to
Ottawa?
need advice from my counsel on whether things I said in Parliament I should be speaking about.
Okay,
I'm
so
not
here, I'll
an
I'll
expert
move
in
on.
this.
It's okay.
She said it
So-
in Parliament. It's on the
One of
public
things that
record.
happened during the protest in Ottawa dealt with the national monument, the Terry Fox statue. Do you remember
Right.
reading about that?
I do, yes, I do remember the Terry Fox statue. I remember discussing it with my children.
Yeah,
Who were
and-
very upset.
Yeah, and there was, and that Terry Fox statue, they put a hat on Terry Fox's head and then put a flag in his arm. And then there was mandate freedom sign on it.
I don't remember specifically how the Terry Fox statue was
Yeah.
implicated in this, but I do remember
Okay.
reading about it, and I remember it specifically because my children were aware of it and
Okay.
were upset.
Right.
Her
so I
children were
went
upset,
online and I just
but she
looked at
doesn't
how many
remember.
times
Like,
someone's done that
how
to that
insane.
statute, and it seems to be hundreds. So I'm just going to put this one to you. If someone puts an LGBTQ flag on the Terry Fox statute and flowers in the statute, is that a desecration?
I am not going to go into, I really don't think it's my job or helpful for Canadians for me to go into a discussion of what is okay and not okay.
Yeah,
But
it's
if you
very
say
helpful.
Terry Fox
desecration,
statute.
when you've called it a desecration in public, that was what you were referring to, based on what was put on the statute. So is it fair to say that it's only a desecration to you if you don't agree with the message?
Again, you've made a couple of leaps beyond anything that I've said.
That's okay, it's the public record. With respects to, you had said you had concerns for violent actions and interactions with respect to protesters, and I take it that was nationally? You had concerns nationally? Or was it just Ottawa?
I described in my testimony a moment ago 2 specific areas where I had concern. I was worried about the potential for conflict between angry people in Ottawa and the occupation. Can I finish the answer? Because I have something to add. And as I said in my earlier testimony, and I believe the mayor of Windsor shared this concern, I was concerned about the possibility of that kind of a conflict in Windsor. And I was concerned about the situation in Coutts,
Okay.
which we heard about at the IRG
Right.
on this Saturday.
Okay, so, but with respect to the interaction with protesters, I don't know if you heard the testimony of the mayor there, but he said that 75% of his small town supported the blockades and that many of the properties have F. Trudeau flags all over them. So you wouldn't have concern with that specific protest, would you?
My reference to Coutts just now was very specific. At the IRG on Saturday, the 12th of February, the RCMP commissioner raised with us the possibility that there were weapons there. And
Right.
that was a source of great concern.
Right, and so you can agree that police investigate weapons offenses all over the country every day.
Again, I'm not a police expert, but that seems like a reasonable common sense observation.
So simply because the police know a weapon is somewhere, you can agree with me it's not a national emergency.
The concern about a single weapon somewhere in Canada, and as you say, I think that one weapon being investigated somewhere in Canada, if that were to happen today, certainly.
Right, and you testified earlier about what you viewed as, ensuring that we as Canadians have a good international reputation so that people come to our country and want to do
Here it
business with
comes.
us. Is that fair?
Yes, that's something I was very concerned about.
Okay, and I take it when you consider those sort of things, you look at various reports, and I'm sure you look at various indexes, and I'm sure you look at the Transparency International Index. Is that fair?
I am familiar with the Transparency International Index, but I haven't looked at it recently.
Okay, well, since 2000,
This is where the sound goes off. I was like, oh, they're cutting
we
it.
began to fall. All right, and we have now come down out of the top 10, and it continues to decline. So can you agree with me that Canada not being transparent hurts our relationship internationally?
Where is he going with this?
I have to say that I disagree with the premise of the question. I think Canada is a very transparent democracy. And in fact, the commission that we're part of right now is a part of Canadian transparency.
Right.
That's why it's important.
And on that point, if I told you that there is a whole bunch of unlawfully redacted documents that we've been fighting over and we're waiting for an order just to get them today, and we haven't had them for this whole proceeding, do you think that's transparent?
Again, and with apologies, I can't agree with the premise of the question. I think that, what I can say is, I think that the fact that this commission exists, that these hearings are being held, that they're public, is really important for Canada and is a measure of Canadian transparency.
Right. And one of your
She's not
concerns,
wrong on that. I've said
of
that
course,
too.
with
But
transparency and
it doesn't
our
exclude the
reputation
redacted documents.
was that you would want your government to be as transparent as possible. Right?
Like, this thing wouldn't happen in the Middle East countries.
Again,
Like a lot of,
here,
even Russia, right? Like this,
I do
there would be no
believe
commission.
transparency and accountability are important, but I also recognize that cabinet confidentiality in
Not-
many issues needs to be preserved for a reason. And, you know, there are areas where transparency is not appropriate, and I recognize that as well.
Okay. Can you agree with me if, anytime it comes out that the Canadian government has misled Canadians on something, it really hurts our international reputation, doesn't it?
I think that the Canadian government should always seek not to mislead Canadians.
Right.
First and foremost, because that's wrong, and that is not the way we should treat Canadians.
And in the many statements that have been said by all the politicians in this matter, one of the main things they talked about, and Justin Trudeau did particularly on the following the first weekend of the invocation of the Emergencies Act, was these horrible, the Nazi flag and all those things that people saw in Ottawa. You heard him say that?
Again, I have to say, prior to coming here, I have not specifically reviewed specific statements of the Prime Minister. If you want to point to a specific one,
Yeah.
maybe we could discuss it.
You'd agree if it turned out those flags were linked to your government. That would look really bad for our international reputation, wouldn't it?
Based on some,
Just
Okay, next.
absolutely slams her. Just destroys her. Wow.
Oh, that was so good.
Okay, so
Good
that's...
afternoon, Minister Phelan. My name
I'm going to pause there. I'm going to stop the video. That was 20 minutes. Hopefully I got sound. Yeah, okay.
again, upset.
Flags were linked to your government. That would look really bad for our international reputation, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? You slimy greaseball. Right? Oh man. I've not specifically reviewed specific statements specifically. That's like, I don't know, 309, 310, maybe 03-ish. Okay, so I've got a few statements here. I've got taken as a whole. Again, I'm not an expert. I believe in the effectiveness of Health Canada. That is not my job. We have intelligence services. The last video you sent is first. Oh, okay. Here, let me check this. Miller time. Crack video. Boom. Here we go. Oh, this is
The picture of the gentleman all covered in army fatigues with a mask over his face, walking with a Confederate flag through a crowd. It first appeared in an opinion piece in the Toronto Star from someone who actually works for the Liberal Party of Canada. Were you aware of that? Were you aware that the first time that the picture of the gentleman all covered in army fatigues with a mask over his face, walking with a Confederate flag through a crowd, it first appeared in an opinion piece in the Toronto Star from someone who actually works for the Liberal Party of Canada? Were you aware of that?
Mr. Commissioner, my friend seems to be giving evidence now.
I'm asking if he's
So
aware of
he
it.
asked a question, and I can guess at what the answer is
Right.
going to
Right,
be.
okay,
Right.
but there's a presupposition of a fact that's not it.
Yeah, because you keep interrupting me when I'm trying to ask questions and I'm
No,
running out of time.
Just, please. Okay.
So
I'm not aware of the articles, and I'm not aware of those facts that you mentioned.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Are you aware of a company called Enterprise Canada?
Not specifically.
And have you identified the individual, one that it was all over the news, the gentleman that was carrying the Nazi flag? Have you identified him yet?
Mr. Commissioner, as I've said before, the specific details of our investigation have been shared, with Commission earlier. Would not be able to go into more specific details.
So I think that's it.
Right. Yeah. No. And I
Thank
take
you.
it. And I take it then, sir, that you know that individual was Brian Fox from Enterprise Group.
I have not said anything of that respect to Council. I have not testified to that, Council.
Yeah, you haven't testified to it, but you know that to be true, don't you?
No, that's not fair.
so I don't know how we know that.
Oh, no,
But
sir. You just slammed the door at me. Get out of the house.
You don't close the door on the police.
I don't give a you have no right to enter.
On December 19th, 2020, Officer
Oh, I love
McNally
Audit the
and
Audit.
Officer Hibbets.
okay, that's not what we're doing right now. But Audit the Audit is so good. Okay, where am I here? So are we going to look for anything? I think we could probably use what we got. Yeah, that came first. Hey, the commission on that came first.
My name is Eva Krajewska, and I'm counsel for the Canadian Civil Liberties Association.
I mean, she does do a softball thing where she introduces herself. It's like, who cares? Like, why are you introducing yourself? Miller doesn't come up and say, well, I guess he does introduce himself. So maybe that's formal, but like, then she's
Mr.
just
Chair,
like,
I'd like to start off with going back to your testimony in chief with respect to
how much more is this? 24 minutes, actually. I think we could get enough out of this. I'm not going to go into, we could even have, so what is going to happen? Like, I think what she does, what it is like, we're going to, we'll start off as oh geez, where did that go? This video, maybe this video is filmed the other way, unfortunately. So, I mean, maybe that's kind of tasteless, but I don't know. Like, maybe there's like another animation. Maybe there's something that we can He has proof tying the flag to the Liberal government. Okay. But has that been shown? Or is it just like he's saying he has proof? It's like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm sure if he's saying he's got proof, he's a lawyer, he's... But where does that proof come from? Like, what is the proof? I don't know. I mean, I guess he's pretty confident in his speaking there, and like, so when he's saying that he's got, you know, he's a lawyer, he's obviously got some level of proof, but it was in newspaper articles. So they wrote their own articles saying that it was Toronto Sun said that it was Brian whatever from the Liberal Party. I don't know. Is that going to come out in the future? Like, yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Well, dang, like how ridiculous would that make our government look? Like, clearly they didn't need to use the Emergencies Act. Like, come on. What they could have done was say, hey, you know what? You're right. Trucker mandates are BS. ArriveCan's BS. Coercing you to get a vaccine is BS. COVID is fine. We'll send everybody vitamin D. We'll send everybody NAC. We'll we'll promote getting sun and being healthy, and we'll be fine. Like, they could have done that, and less people would have died. Suicide, elderly by themselves, like, way less terrible shit would have happened. The economy would not have been broken. Yeah, exactly. Come outside and say hello and have a discussion with them. Like, how scared can they be? Of course, that's not what they want, though. The transparency piece that he was talking about, right? Like, that would have been such a great example for the world to see. Oh, look at what Canada's doing. They're having some serious problems with this, and the government actually came out and said, hi, what can we do for you? You know? Like, that's, like, peak Canadian, in my opinion. Like, that would have been peak Canadian. It's like, bro, here, you're 50 feet away there, bud? Here, I'll open the door up for you, and you can come right in. Yeah, I'll take your time, but I've got all day. I'll just sit here and hold the door open for you. Yeah, we'll have a chat while you're on the way there, bud. You know, like, just total nice Canadian vibes, right? But no, instead they're like, oh, let's use the Emergencies Act and plant some friggin' Nazi Confederate flags and stuff. Oy vey. Oy vey. Oh, well, hey, Leslie, I never thought I would see you again. Did I already give us a retweet? All right. So again, if we're gonna make something out of this, we're gonna have to figure it out. If we just get the script done today, that'd be pretty cool. Do the sound tomorrow, maybe finish it up on Saturday. But instead, they let the hooves of justice rain down on them, eh? Eh, bud? So it's like, so what's gonna happen? Is it basically she's gonna get grilled and we just make her look like even more of a buffoon? Like, what if she is the robot? I don't know. Maybe we use like Dave Chappelle crackhead. Oh man, this is a young Dave Chappelle, right? What movie is this from? Is this from? Just gets me every time. Maybe we just like put Freebase's face in there. Move her mouth a bit and be like, "Oh, yo, what's up, Pinya boy?" Yeah, that's from Chappelle's show. Okay, so it's not from Half Baked. It's from Chappelle's show. Back when he used to do that, Chappelle's show. Man, is it still on? Yeah. Welcome to the Jaroverse. Original was like 203, 2006. 3 seasons of 28 episodes kind of deal. Oh man. Good days, good times. I remember when that shit was brand new. A brand spanking new. Yeah. Okay, so y'all got any Steam deals? That's me. Give me those fucking cheap games. Come on. Yeah. Oh man, that's funny. It's not like it was. Yeah, it's not like it was hard to find drugs, because the government made them illegal, so that it ended up being kids and gangs who sold the drugs instead of like the pharmacy. But well, luckily in Canada, China. I almost said China. That's one positive change in terms of yeah, social justice. Am I your friend? Bro, you have an existential crisis? Chinatown would be more accurate. Yeah. Oh, man. Well, yeah, bro. I mean, like, it's not really a live stream conversation, though. You know, I'm just like, But, yeah. Let's see. I'm going to church on Sunday. I'll be there hanging out with people. Whoa, are you trying to wine and dine me, bro? Come on. So if just every time just gets me good. Hey, you got any crack? I got this very best product for you, crack cocaine. Let's see here. So if that actually that's a good Halloween costume. Oh man, that's hilarious. Hey. Smoke weed every day. All right. So yeah, I'm thinking oh, I don't know, man. Yeah. I'm thinking about the script here. You're having turkey? Yeah, bro. Well, shoot me a text. We'll talk about that. But yeah. So, I think if Freebase, like, cracked out a little bit and then showed up at the door of like an official looking building and then was like, all right, it's time to get to the commission. and she's like cracked out on her face and she's wearing a dildo. And then like it'll come in with like Freebase Friesen or Freeman or whatever her name is. Okay, so Freeman, is that her name? It's not excuse me, it's not Freeland. Okay, kind of an ironic name for somebody who is not a free person. Oh man, I actually have... Remember Nanojansky? Me neither. Freebase. Stock. Bro, we're... Like, I don't know if you're... Are you not aware that we're on a live stream right now? Like... Like, you cracked out right now, bro? Are you tripping? Oh yeah, here, just let me broadcast my phone number to the internet. You know how to get a hold of me if you want to talk to me or text me. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Are you drunk on that maple syrup? Freebase. Stock. Call it Freeland Video. There we go. WebM. We pretty much just need, yeah, we can get the video. I don't know why you do this. You done did this to me here, video game. let's see. So that's downloaded. I can close that. So I'm like, well, do I really need to use this? Like, I mean, it's kind of funny. It would be funny if I just like put her face on there and did some tracking. But I think like, let's stick to the things that really happened and satire that. Bro, you have an existential life crisis right here, right now. I'm here for you, man. Like, it's all good, man. You just need to get out and be social more. That's it's a part of a good, healthy, happy lifestyle. And we tend to just become isolationists, and then it's like, oh shit, I'm the same way. It's like, oh, I'll just isolate and isolate and isolate, and then, oh shit, this actually sucks. And it's an uphill battle, man. Especially if you're not a very social person like me, not really a social person to start with. So it's like, how do I make friends and maintain those friendships too? It's not easy, but it's worthwhile. It's also not impossible. Yeah, man. Well, this is what it is, bro. Like, yeah, I'm here for you. We're here for you. But I just think the vacuum was from the Best Damn Roofer. Oh, nice. Yeah, I like it too. And originally it was like, oh, okay, yeah, let's use it. But I'm like, you know what? As a standalone, it would almost be funny just on itself. I kind of like the idea of somehow like making the like making her be like partying, and then she's partying a bit, she's wearing the strap on, she's partying, and then she ends up, we call her Freebase Freeland, title screen. Partying with dildo on. How we'll make that happen exactly, I'm not sure, but that's the gist of it. Goes in front of, let's see, Freebase. There she is. Oh, was it at a gay pride parade? These people are just something special. I think there's an article. Yeah. Here it is. So we'll use that. We'll put her in a white dress with a purple, yeah. And then we'll put like white powder on her face, but you won't really see that, so we'll put a crack pipe in there. And it'll just be like dangling out of her mouth, like, as best we can do. And then she'll show up to some kind of official looking building. building, and then she'll burp. She burps. All right, time. All right, it's time for the commission. Well, I'm pretty sure. It's time for the Emergencies Act Commission. I don't think we're gonna have that kind of a line, but maybe we'll just infer it with like a title on the building, like Emergencies Act Commission across the official looking building. Yeah, clearly she is at the gay pride parade. Like, what a nutcase. I'm gonna go in the streets and wear a strap-on dildo, and that's how I'm gonna represent my country. Yeefkin-ha! Save this in Freebase. Dildo pick. We're getting spicy today. We've left the realm. We've officially left the realm of quasi kid friendly. Not made for kids, but wasn't so adult before. I was kind of just thinking as I was walking earlier, I was like, you know what, fuck it. Like, who am I kidding? Let's go deep. Let's go hard. Let's go rated R. Someone said the strap-on was a Photoshop, but I don't know. No, that was not a Photoshop. This picture here could be. I wonder if we can actually find the original tweet. That doesn't look like a Photoshop though. Like, that would have to be pretty good if it was a Photoshop. From her to CA Freeland. Oops. I thought that's how it worked, but just received this photo. Let's say not exactly like what? Not exactly what I expected from the finance minister. Not exactly what I expected from the finance minister. What if I delete this entirely? No, the tweet itself might be deleted, so can't really. Yeah, apparently Twitter has rubber chickens when you can't find things. No, I didn't, bro. I looked at it. Mastodon. But it was pretty confusing. And then I was like, wait. There's so many different servers to join. I was looking at DSO. Because it's like a decentralized Twitter. Are you on Discord? You could send me the link there. I don't know. I didn't see your link before, but But if I did move to another platform, I'd likely go onto DeSo. Is that part of the Fediverse? I don't know what that is. But DeSo is based on its own blockchain. It's a layer 1 blockchain. Decentralizing social media. So yeah, sometimes YouTube glitches out with the chat, so I don't know. But DeSo might be a next move. Cost of storing 200 characters, less than a tweet of on-chain state. So it's actually, yeah, it's crazy how expensive Ethereum is. Cardano is making some progress there. I didn't know Polygon was even that expensive to store that 200 characters. That seems unreasonable because I'm pretty sure you can upload a contract for less than 45 cents, which would be more than, but I could be wrong. I don't really know. No, I'm sure it's not that much because I've uploaded a contract and didn't even use an entire Polygon, entire Matic. But either way, if they're doing something here that's different, I found them through Bankless. And so far so good. Like, I don't really, again, it's kind of well, you don't. I mean, it costs like, how, you know, if I go 0.01 divided by 0.000017, that's 588 tweets per cent per like 1 penny. But that's the point, is that by making on the blockchain, it's decentralized, but it's also by making it cost something to tweet, even if it's 10th, 100th, basically 2,000ths of a penny, then that makes it like not really as cost effective. Like, you can't bot then. Yeah, exactly. So like, that's a pretty reasonable, if the price of DeSo goes up, then that might go up, but, and that's a tough thing to navigate. But to me, I definitely see the future as on-chain. And even if that's a new DeSo layer 1 chain that's separate of Ethereum, I don't know, but I like the idea of paying to tweet. See here, on-chain content stored on the DeSo blockchain. All private messages between users are end-to-end encrypted. Like, they're already ahead of the game by saying that. I know I heard Twitter was going to get, they're looking at end-to-end encrypted DMs, which makes sense. It's like, well, why would you want Twitter themselves to be able to read your DMs? Nobody should be able to read your DMs. They should be private. And so other apps have that. I think Apple's app has end-to-end encryption. WhatsApp has end-to-end encryption by nature. Signal, like, that's the way of the future. It's, you know, 100% open source, 100% on-chain data. So yeah, if I was to look at a new platform, I doubt, like, as confusing as Mastodon is, if they don't have blockchain can be read by whoever owns the server, right? Like, what is that? That's not a fix. That's just like another friggin' piece of tape over a bleeding like hole. It's like, man, we need to go forward into the future, which is why I use things like I mean, bank lists. See, I haven't really looked into it too much. I've got my username, but I haven't like really done anything yet with it, because again, it was kind of confusing. And that's the thing that sucks, is like there's actually better platforms than YouTube in some ways already, but it's not it's not like Odyssey is better than YouTube in some sense. It's a Web3 platform and they're like against censorship, but and there's even like other ones that are more complicated, but it's like if you don't have popular people there, then it doesn't matter. And that's why it's like you need to have a really good user interface so people don't even really know that it's on blockchain. The average person doesn't care. They just want to be able to do their thing and make it easy and easy to interact with, simple to set up, simple to use. And you know, we end up missing that. Even like Mastodon misses that, I think. It's like, get the app. Oh, okay, well, anybody can have a server. Choice anxiety. It's like, I don't even want to go there. Well, what if I don't know. No end-to-end encryption. So yeah, it's a weird world, man, but at the same time, one of the options that's coming out now is going to be like for early adopters. Like same thing with blockchains in general. One of the blockchains is going to make it out on top. But that's actually cool. Like the Mastodon app isn't the best app to use Mastodon. So I wasn't adopted either. They left me on the streets. But yeah, like that's one of the cool things, I guess, about Mastodon is that you can use a different app to engage with the data. Yeah, that's cool. Because, yeah, like we need to explore alternatives. So yeah, that's kind of how I see the future too. Like not just on chain, like blockchain, but also more interoperability between different platforms. So like the actual post that you post is right. And that's what, but that to me is like what blockchain is. It's like, well, why, like, it's almost like they're trying to do a Web 2 version of blockchain. Like they're trying to decentralize it, but they haven't really wrapped their heads around blockchain technology yet. And that's what I was saying. Like, so you'd have posts go onto chain, and then anybody could host the chain, so it's decentralized chain. And then that post, that tweet, could be read by any app that somebody builds, and it'd be like a universal standard for how to enter the JSON, like the different properties of the actual message itself. So that any app, you could build your own app and it'll still view the same social media platform. But the social media platform itself will be like a universalized standard to some extent. Maybe your app could make additions, subtractions, but the majority would define the standard. Yeah, I think it, you know, I'm hopeful that there's going to be an even better platform. I mean, that's the problem with Twitter too. Like, it's got a lot of people on it and it's very popular and it does work pretty well. Not real. Anyways, let's leave that conversation. But it's just very centralized. And so that's kind of my hope with Musk, is that, right, exactly, yeah. But that's my hope with Elon Musk's takeover of Twitter, is that he potentially puts it on chain to like Dogecoin and then makes it like, yeah, just so many upgrades could be done to it. He may be able to do that. He may be able to beat DSO at their own game if he has the right team. And he probably would have the right team of engineers to kind of make that happen. So that would be cool. But yeah, the future is decentralized. No, bro, I'm not married. Not yet. I can't go back to Twitter. Did they lock you out? Did they delete you from the internet? Man, one of the most popular blockchains. Yeah, okay. See, honestly, like Web3 Twitter, I find is like not negative at all. I mean, there's one or two people who are kind of like negative. They think that they're positive, but they're actually, yeah, it's like about who you follow and stuff though, man. Because that's the thing. It's like, I've found people on Twitter that are into Web3 and that want to make themselves better. But at the same time, it's like, I don't go onto Twitter for that much, actually. Like, I go into spaces sometimes, and there's some spaces in there that are pretty cool. And those spaces, like, those conversations where, like, you can just go in, where is it? Communities? Oh, I don't know if spaces are... Twitter's freaking kind of broken, man. Honestly. Yeah, I mean, it's not really... I'm like, wait. Where are spaces again? Home. Sometimes you just have to, like, click it a bunch of times. Yeah, like... Dox your wife, but not you, bro? That's kind of... Anyways. I swear there was... Twitter Spaces before. But anyways... I find it's a lot of people lifting each other up and being positive and saying good morning and good night and like just being general. Like that's the kind of profile that I actually have. Like I post jars every day. AI generated jart. And I post kind of philosophical tweets. Philosophical. Reach for the stars and you might at least hit the moon. Let's go! Ordinary is just not good enough for me. A mistake that makes you humble is better than an achievement that makes you arrogant. Civil disobedience is the foundation of civilization. So yeah, like that's kind of what I find. People who are in, and that's the interesting thing about Web3. Yeah, bro. And maybe I'll join. Yeah, I'm not trying to pressure you to go back. Like I was like, maybe I'll join Massa. I don't know, but we'll keep connecting. But yeah, it's in the Web3 Twitterverse, there is people like because Web3 monetized the internet. Really, it makes reputation be. Yeah, dang, bro. That's something when you just, like, block and delete. Like, who cares, you know? Fucking losers. But, it's, because the internet now has money at its foundation, like Bitcoin, I say Bitcoin, but blockchain itself makes it so that people can pay people across the world for pennies or less than pennies, and like almost instantly, and cross boundaries, international, national boundaries. So it's like I could hire somebody in Africa or Asia, doesn't matter, I could still transfer the money like right away. So people kind of, it makes people like in Web3 more centered on being not toxic, right? Because it's like, oh wait, my reputation's at stake, and if I'm toxic, nobody's gonna want to work with me, nobody's gonna want to pay me. So it's like, you know, it's kind of like if you have an eBay profile, you don't want to like rip people off, because then you just like ruin your reputation, nobody will buy stuff from you. So I don't know, it's a fascinating thing, but Web3 Twitter is definitely not like other Twitter. I mean, even like political Twitter, it's like people get into stupid fights and arguments on there. And like I barely dabble into political Twitter, even though I'm pretty politically minded, sort of. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it's all what you look for, and Web3 is pretty dope. Well, thank you. Yes, I lost my original one that I signed, but now I have another one. And yeah, so all that to be said, DSO is the future, I guess. I don't really know. I say it, but I fucking don't know. And we've kind of got the script. All right, it's time for the Emergencies Act Commission. Maybe she'll just show up, and then what? And then it's Judge Kang. Yeah, I think it's Judge Kang. I think it's Judge Kang and Freeland, or whatever, fucking crackhead, Freebase. Is Judge Kang getting too much exposure, though? I mean, what else could happen? Damn right, Kang! Chuck chimes in after all the Bitcoin talk. He's like, fucking Kang! Let's go! Oh, that's great. Maple Leaf, yeah, Pinya. Yeah. Oh man, that'd be hilarious. Although Maple Leaf just escaped from jail and was flying in outer space, so it wouldn't really fit the story for him to come back all of a sudden. But it would be pretty funny to add him into the mix. He'd be like, I'd say he'd be Freebase's sidekick, who's like always drunk on maple syrup. But I think Hunter's got enough common sense to not mess around with Freebase. Am I right? So, but Maple Leaf will be back. Did you see, Pinya, I asked you too, I was like, bro, did you see the playlist with Hunter Maple Leaf? Should we watch some Maple Leaf right now? Yes, he did. Okay, I won't put you through it again, but there is even some hidden ones where he was singing, but yeah, the Hunter Maple Leaf playlist. Have you seen that? I did not see the playlist. Well, we've got about, well, actually the two most recent ones are these two over here. Still gotta redo all these thumbnails. Okay, yeah, bro. Haha. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate you believing in me. We'll get there. Dang, homie. Oh, you spilled grease? You're cooking a turkey out on the driveway and you spilled it on there. Oh, yeah, that would be pretty deadly. Grease stain on the driveway. Ooh. Yeah, no worries, man. Let's watch a few of them. What the heck? Let's have some fun.
Well, hey, my name's Leslie Moore, and you may remember me from that back alley. Today, I've got a very special product for you. This best quality top-of-the-tree brand maple syrup. It's the finest smelling tree crap around. If you buy 3 bottles today, I'll send you those 3 bottles in the mail.
Oh, well, you know, hey, the difference between you and I is that...
What the...
My maple syrup's not for sale.
Yes, that's the difference between you and I. You wouldn't believe how much money they're paying me to move this top-of-the-tree brand maple syrup.
You're not allowed to sell my maple syrup.
It's not your maple syrup.
It's all my maple syrup. I need it all. Give me the maple syrup.
Hunter, make like a tree and leave already.
Oh. Yes, that's good. Maple syrup. Oh.
Another evening wasted serving my purposes. You might as well quit, Angel Maple Leaf.
I'll never quit. He's still a young Maple Leaf. There's hope for him yet.
And it's maple syrup emergency reserve. Emergency supply of that oh-so-sweet sticky.
Oh, wow! Would you look at all that maple syrup? I bet I could drink for days on that stuff. I bet I could fill a whole swimming pool with maple syrup and swim around in it. Oh.
Maple Leaf, you shouldn't go to the maple syrup vault.
Well, just visit the vault as a tourist. What could go wrong?
Yeah, I'll just go visit the maple syrup vault as a tourist. That's it. That's all. Nothing will go wrong. Oh, wow! The maple syrup vault! Can I go on a tour?
No, we don't offer public tours.
Oh, come on! I'm literally a maple leaf. This is like my family home.
Okay, but don't tell my boss. And you cannot bring outside food or drink into the vault.
What? My maple syrup? It's fused to my hand. It has to come with me.
Computing. Okay, fine. You can bring this.
Oh, wow! Would you look at all this maple syrup?
Yes, this is over 3 years of maple syrup production. We are the #1 facility of maple syrup storage. All maple syrup must go through our tight grip on the industry.
Oh, wow! You control all the... Hey, look at that! It's a forklift! I've always wanted to drive a forklift. Can I drive that forklift?
No, you certainly cannot drive the forklift. Only certified forklift apes can drive this specialized vehicle.
Oh, no way! Come on, let me ride the forklift.
No, you cannot drive the forklift.
Hunter, you don't need to drive the forklift. Leave it be.
Well, you could just drive the forklift a little bit to have the experience, you know. What could go wrong?
And now to meet our chief executive ape, Tulsa Banana.
Welcome to the Maple Syrup Vault, Mr. Maple Leaf. How have my apes been treating you?
Oh, well, you know, hey, they're actually pricks.
Yes, I know they're actually pricks. Well, I like this, Maple Leaf. Great minds think alike.
They wouldn't let me in at first, or drink my maple syrup while I'm here. Then they wouldn't let me drive the forklift.
Oh, really? Well, Apebot, give him the keys.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I've never driven a forklift before.
Are you sure that this is a good idea?
How dare you question my orders, a bot? Do you want to be disconnected?
Here's the key, Hunter.
Change the Wi-Fi on. What's scary is the bad crash animation.
Oh no! How reckless the driving of this Maple Leaf!
I told you so.
You didn't say anything when he asked to drive the forklift. Get him out of here and clean up that mess.
I told you not to drive the forklift, Hunter.
What a fun experience.
And then the heist. I can't believe they put those barrels of maple syrup in my way. My favorite
And
one.
after
I drove into them,
What are
they
these
kicked
three?
me out of the vault. What actual pricks. I'll show them.
Yes, you'll show them. They'll wish they never met you. They'll never see it coming into all the maple syrup. Yes, all the maple syrup. What could go wrong?
101 points. How am I gonna
Devil
get
maple
into the
leaves.
vault? Well, I bet they have pretty thick walls, but not as thick as my skull. I'm sure there's a way I could get through them. Oh wow, that's a pretty good helmet. I'm gonna get that. I'm sure I can get in with that. I'll show them. I'll drink all their maple syrup. Well, alright, this is it. I'm going for gold. Oh, well, you know, hey. Oh, wow. Would you look at all this maple syrup? I bet I could drink for days on this stuff. Well, how am I going to get this home? That's it. I'll drive that forklift. Much better.
How did you get back in here?
That's what I was going to say. Get him to the holding cells. He must answer for this reckless behavior.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, Hunter. I told you not to go to the maple syrup vault. What have you done?
You are a faithful servant of my purposes, Maple Leaf. What an eventful evening!
First appearance, Kang.
What do you have to say for yourself, Mr. Maple Leaf?
Oh, well, you know, they put some...
That's enough out of you. Why are you getting yourself into such trouble?
Oh, well, you know, hey, I just wanted some more maple syrup.
That's enough. You always need to be drinking maple syrup, don't you? Have you ever heard of restraint? Put the brakes on from time to time. It will prevent you from crashing.
Well, you know, I'm not that good at putting the brakes on, and I think that's my problem. It's almost as if I have a little devil maple leaf on my shoulder, talking me into trouble.
All right, enough out of you, Mr. Maple Leaf. The damage you have done here will have you locked up for months. I'll let you know when I decide you can get out of jail. Until then, you will have to work for Tulsa Banana for free.
Oh, well, you know, hey, I'm just a maple leaf. I've never been to jail. Well, I hope they have lots of maple syrup in jail.
Yes,
Like, what
today I've got a
specifically are you
very
talking
special
about?
product for you.
Oh, Leslie Moore can only sell Tulsa products.
Oh, yeah,
Isn't
I love
in
that.
our
I love the
contract,
single blink.
but
I always turn that on.
Information from the database.
And sit there going like this. Especially...
Ooh,
Especially
we
with
must
Hunter.
pay
He's gotta be
him
like-
a visit.
Well, I I can't believe I can afford
one
this
eye.
new Delta brand space car. It's all thanks to the sales I made with that jar coin.
With a lot of
You
the
know,
characters
Delta
will-
hasn't been paying me enough. I should sell jar products more often. Well, hey there, my name's
Yo.
Leslie Moore, and today I've got a very special product for you. It's this Essence of Jar brand perfume. It
hanging
smells
off
like
the
a
back.
freshly
Oh,
opened
of the car?
terrarium and...
Oh, that's banana peels.
well, hey, what the heck, Telsa?
Hoorah!
It's a banana
you
car,
aren't
so-
allowed to sell anything but Telsa products.
Telsa, you could have just used the door, you know. I just got that wall fixed finally.
I saw you on the tube selling jar coin. How dare you disgrace me?
Well, Telsa, you haven't been paying
another
me
scene
enough.
with the car,
You know
but
how long I had
it's-
to save up to fix my wall of my studio?
It's actually an asset I
That's
used
it,
to
Bot. Secure the prisoner.
in my first with the bootstrap
Telsa,
babes.
come on.
Yeah,
I'm
here
sure we
go.
can work something out. I'll sell twice as much for you. I'll do anything. I can't go back to jail. Telsa, please, be reasonable.
Banana peels.
I've been more than
Rockets blow
reasonable. I'm taking
open
you
and,
to
like, the
meet the
banana peels
law.
just dangle.
This is the only reasonable way.
No way, Telsa. The jawhead made me do it.
Ah, save it for the judge.
Judge Kang has become a pivotal character.
Mr. Leslie Moore, you are being accused of breaking your contract with Telsa Banana. What do you have to say for yourself, Mr. Moore?
Well, hey there, Judge King. I was set up by the jawhead. I didn't know that.
That's enough out of you, Mr. Moore. You can't blame anyone but yourself.
Well, Mr. Judge King, I'm not blaming anyone else. I did it, but it's just that...
It's just what, Mr. Moore?
It's just that Telsa is keeping so much of the sales money, and I made more in a week selling Joy Coin than I did all month selling Telsa products. I'm being taken advantage of.
That's enough, Mr. Moore. You have to pay for your disloyalty. You'll be locked up for years for this kind of treachery. I'll let you know when I decide you can get out of jail. Until then, you'll have to work for Telsa Banana for free.
Oh no, I'm innocent. It's Telsa that's the evil one. Wow, I can't believe they threw me in jail. Just like that. I was having such a great week.
Well, no.
Wait, that sounds like Hunter. Well, am I glad to see you here?
Oh, well, hello. Hey, Leslie. I never thought I would see you again.
Hunter, can you turn sideways and come over here?
Oh, well, I guess so.
All right, Hunter, can you now use your head and break through this wall? Let's get out of here.
Yes, just break out already. You'll be a free Maple Leaf again. What could go wrong?
I forgot this part.
Yeah, Hunter. You won't listen to me anyways. Just smash it.
Oh, well, you know, hey. Yeah, just. And that's that episode. There's one more, Hunter's Origins. We'll watch that too. It's good, man. This is so. I'm glad we would watch this together, guys. It's fun. It's like that. I created all this stuff. Like this is. Hunter Maple Leaf stars as Hunter. Oh wow, my head kind of hurts.
Oh, thank you, Hunter. You really made up for breaking my wall. Now I'm both free again, even if we're wanted fugitives.
Oh wow, well, nobody's ever wanted me before.
What are we gonna do about this? What if we get caught?
Well, can't we just hide out in an alley somewhere and drink maple syrup?
Hunter, you're a genius. Let's consult the Trash Oracle. Well, hey there, Trash Oracle. You wouldn't believe what happened this week.
Yes, well, why don't you tell me a thing or two about your past week? Oh, well, did anyone happen to throw out some maple syrup?
Hunter, this is serious.
Well, so is my maple syrup addiction.
Hunter! Well, just Oracle, I've been selling too much product and someone got jealous. They came by and threw me in jail. Wait, Hunter, how did you get in jail?
Oh, well, I'm not really sure, actually. All I remember is using my head to break out of there.
Wow, that's quite a week you've had. Let me see what it says here. Yes, there's no wall that can stop the two of you.
Oh, wow. I kind of have a headache. Are you sure you don't have some maple syrup, Trash Oracle?
Well, Hunter, it's your lucky day.
She's been
I've
holding out
saved
the whole
this for
time.
just such an occasion.
Trust Oracle, what are we supposed to do? I think they're chasing us.
This is quite a difficult problem. Let me consult last week's newspaper. So this is quite peculiar.
What does it say?
I'm receiving an intermission. Yes, I'm seeing a large tree. Yes, a large maple tree. But all around is red. Yes, interesting. Well, what could that mean? Yes. Well, you should explore your roots, and in it, you will find true freedom.
Whoa,
That was
what
actually
does that mean?
After Effects.
I don't have any roots, and I'm not a tree.
What about your family tree?
Oh, wow. I Is have a it triggered family a- tree.
Yes. Oh, wow. Where did that come from? Yes, well, it looks like
Yeah,
it's the
use-
key to the nearby warehouse.
A nearby warehouse? That sounds like the perfect hideout.
I used the
Wow, would you look at this
trigger
place?
on the position of the eye. Here I go. Oh, well, you know.
Hunter, we have the key to the door.
And then
You
I
don't
added
need
the-
to break down
the
the wall with
effects
your
after.
head.
Oh, well, okay. Oh, wow. This place This looks is kind of really familiar.
One of the first scenes I actually started making movement in the scenes.
Oh, look at this!
Oh! Hunter Origins. It's like a barometer that's just like goes limp.
Wow, Hunter! I think you're from another planet!
Oh, well, have you seen all this maple syrup?
Whoa! Hunter, what are you doing? That syrup is at least 50 years old!
I found you now, Fugitive Leaf and Leslie. Open up, I know you're in there.
Oh, jeez! How do they find us here? Wow, what are we gonna do?
Oh, well, look, isn't that a rocket? I've
Excellent.
always wanted to drive a rocket.
Wow, Hunter, you're a
First,
genius! Let's fly out of here!
Oh, I can't leave all this maple syrup behind.
Come on, Hunter, let's go!
Oh,
Hunter, let's go! Come on, Hunter, let's go!
all right, let's go.
We'll get you next time.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
And that is the story, up to date, of Mr. Hunter Maple Leaf. Yeah, that was awesome. That was like a good 20 minutes of the Jarroverse. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that I just have that. But man, yeah, it's been like that one was 3 weeks ago now. Definitely a classic. Oh, and it's since been Hunter Origins, Unicorn Lemonade. Those like when I started really saying, oh, okay, I can move around the scene, right?
My name is Leslie Moore Jr., and my personal motto is less is more. Well, today I've got a very special product for you. This here is my very own Leslie Moore brand lemonade. When life gives you lemons, well, sell them to your neighbors in lemonade form.
Well, hey there, bud. It's the Royal Communist Unicorn Police there, bud. Hey, do you have a license to sell that lemonade, bud?
Well, what's a license? I just wanted to make my neighbor's day a little more fresh.
Yeah, bud. Don't you know, you need a license to sell
Someone for
anything around
movement.
here, bud.
Well, I'm just 7 years old. What's a license?
Are you paying taxes on that, bud?
What's
Almost.
a taxes?
That's it, bud. Let the hooves of justice rain down on you,
Okay, bro. Well, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for hanging out.
What
And
do you have to say for yourself, Leslie Jr.?
I'm
Yeah.
just trying to make the best of a sour situation here, Mr.
30
King.
seconds left
That's
on
enough
this.
out of you. What have you been doing with the profits?
I'm just trying to buy,
Alright, already. You're going to have to spend the evening in jail.
Oh no! I've never been to jail! Boy!
And that's him on the space station. Yeah, bro. I will probably be on tomorrow, but I'm usually Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is kind of, I just go with the flow a bit. But yeah, it's good. It's good, man. Appreciate you coming around. Yeah, I definitely stepped it up with this one. I still think there was something very special about that one. Someone said that fried one was the best, which is cool too. But yeah, I really like the movement. I'm getting more movement in the camera, making the scenes bigger than just like 1920 by 1080, so they can actually move around, zoom in, like. But then I think I kind of went a little bit overboard with the movement in the most recent one. I don't know, but that's how you learn. That's how you grow a craft. You go too far one way and then too far the other way, and then you find a middle ground. So yeah, it's been really a lot of fun doing this. Yeah, impressions only been 3.1%, which is still average view duration being almost the entire thing, which is cool. But click-through rate is looking good. That's cool. On the higher end of the typical first 12 hours. Hunter's Vault Tour was still the best one somehow. Even without very good... Like I think this thumbnail is pretty decent. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, anyways, I think it's time to... Well, we in winding down mode, that's for sure. We're starting to wind down a little bit. And I got sidetracked with that, which was a lot of fun. But... So it's going to be Kang and Freeland, Freebase. But what do they say? So we've got Taken as a whole. Again, I'm not an expert. So Did Freeland... Did Christina Freeland wear a dildo? Haha. Let me be clear. Oh yeah, it's just like, well, I've just unsubscribed from Disney Plus. It's like, oh, didn't this guy finally kick it? I heard he died. Yeah, whether it's actually true is like, but then does that become this kind of central to the skit? Do you think it's appropriate to wear a dildo in my courtroom? I believe in the effectiveness of Health Canada. It should be, I'm not an expert. King.
You don't have to be an expert to know that you're being...
Or even just, I can't agree with the premise of the question. I'll put an X when I've used the line. What is...
That's fine then, we'll move on. Let's move on from there. Let's move on. It's not, you're not making yourself out to be very, you're certainly not coming across as very intelligent.
We have intelligence services. No, that's not my job. We have intelligence services. All right, Chuck. Yeah, I'm gonna probably finish this in the next 10-15 minutes here, and then I'm gonna head out too. So I got nothing really going on tomorrow night, so I'll probably be on. Maybe we'll do some more animating. Maybe we'll have a bit of a movie night in Discord. We will see. Yeah, cool, bro. Yeah, I'm just kind of like, okay, work with the lines that I have. Kind of make Kang into... Yeah, we'll see. I'll write it out a little bit, and then I'll sleep on it, and then we'll finish it up and do the sound. And this might be next week's skit. I'm kind of like, maybe I could get an extra one in this week, but like, man, maybe I could finish it for tomorrow and then do another skit on Saturday, because if we're gonna have Trudeau clips, bro, we're gonna have Trudeau clips tomorrow. Holy smokes, it's gonna be good. I want to see him squirming. I can't wait for Militime on Trudeau. Oh, buddy, he's like, literally, Trudeau always avoids any kind of critiquing, any kind of media, any kind of anything. Just avoids it like the plague. So it's like, finally some accountability here. Anyways, bro, you have a good night. It was a fun stream tonight. Yeah. We will be back in the morrow. Squirming, pants are burning. Yeah, maybe I'll leave it with the same exit, just with friggin' freebase, like dildo face. Could almost use that again, just for the heck of it. It's got maybe 2-3 uses out of it, 2-3 life, you know. Oh man, it's good. It's fun. This is really inspiring, actually, just to do some like total trash oracling. We'll get back to the Jarverse. I still have to like write out what is kind of overview of the storyline of what's happening in the Jarverse right now. Might storyboard it on like a picture thing, do like a visual thing, kind of move things around a little bit, do a full-on view of what's going on, and then be able to write in the missing pieces. Because yeah, right now it's kind of just like the pieces are laid on the table. We don't really know what's going on, but there's some hints, there's some things happening. So yeah, we got to get back to the actual Jarverse with Telsa Banana and Leslie Moore, your favorite salesman, and Hunter Maple Leaf, your favorite drunken Maple Leaf, and yeah, even maybe possibly develop a few more characters, but we'll weave it all together. We'll do that writing, but for now, I'm having some fun with some satire, political humor. And that's what we'll ride with for a little bit. Because, yeah, this is some pretty heated stuff that came out today and possibly tomorrow. So, anyways. That being said, Chuck, thanks as always for coming in and chilling in the Jarverse. I'm going to shut her down. I'm going to finish this in the dark. And we'll be back for tomorrow.